Hi guys, and welcome to this week's What's on the Desk update. This is going to be a bit of a freehand camera because I want to just record a few things that I've done. It's Saturday at the minute, so I have the tournament tomorrow. I didn't get finished in Scarverus. It's Lord Exhuminator Scarverus, so he's not done. I get him done next week. I just... Oh, damn. Okay, I think I've time. So yeah, I was locking in base colours on him. Necrotech Surge and the two Brute Trolls based up. This is Queen of the Broken Coast. Is finished. She's this guy. I sculpted on kind of a farm, done some. He's working in the fields. Once, if you look down here, oh, everything else. Blood Angel's the only one. I did not get to. Did get to finish in some other thing. So I might just bring. Might be a bit. So is finished. Weapons have been given, and the actual jack has it. The stalkers have been painted with the extremely bright on the camera in person. There's the same. I think you've seen the Slayer last week. Extra coat because he's a metal model. All these guys have been. I need to just tidy that. He's been based in our. Yeah, there is actually a colour. It's really not doing too well. Blending in with the snow. The way it's gone, guys, are done. Got the. So that's her. The Buccaneer scarred. Leaning back against a couple of. She's drinking out of a skull. She's done. I don't know what else than I got done. There's a cost based. Another thing that I got finished this week. If I can get him. So he is. So, OSL effect up here and that. There you go. So that's him done. First Blood Angels model, I think model I've done this year. It's just a quick update because I'm gonna seal these guys tomorrow. So just wanted to get I give them back 2 armies that I haven't even, so I'm trying to be a bit more paint. But stay. Hi guys, and welcome to this week's What's on the Desk update video. As you can see, it is an absolute mess as usual, and I didn't mean to drop the camera. Here I have base coat with some Signar Jacks with the airbrush. It was some Crag Blue for the base, and then it was mixed with Caldor Sky for a highlight, and then pure Caldor Sky for a bit more of a highlight. All this brown stuff. All this brown stuff here is Grymkin bar this guy is a skorne caster. I think it's Zal 2. and he's going to be painted up to look similar enough to this big dude, which is still very much a work in progress. So I went back in today and I added some highlights to the kind of marbly green, and I started painting on some gold. I don't think I'm zoomed in, no, okay, it's just very hard to get. He's a big guy basically, so he's just started getting the first coat down on some of the gold, but Zal will be painted up the same as him. Then I have finished building up the Grymkin and I have based them all, so you can see the kind of when they're painted up, it's kind of meant to look like a field, because these guys are Grymkin, the Wicked Harvest, and there's little pumpkins and stuff in the artwork and whatever. So that's kind of the way I based them up. I was at a team training event on Sunday for War Machine, and I was playing my Retribution. This is Kaelissa, the Night's Whisper. It's a Retribution Warcaster. This here is a Skin and Moans. The Skin and Moans, so my caster I think had 16 boxes, and with all the buffs and stuff in the game, with the way the guy had worked it out, he hit Kaelissa at plus 10 damage to the dice roll, and he rolled something like 24 damage in total. So he absolutely obliterated her. And it's the guy that I'm painting this army for that done it, and we had a good laugh about it and whatever. It was funny, like. But I said to him, I think I actually have a Kaelissa model at home. And he says, oh, if you could put it on the base it'd be cool. I said, yeah, I'll have a look, see what I can do. So I had to kind of convert this guy up. So I had to cut his arm here and try and green stuff it, because otherwise his arms are just straight down like this one. That's just the way they come. And I just converted it in such a way, and what I done was, to get her to fit, was I actually burnt the bottom of her cloak. I put some green stuff down and super glue, and I super glued it to her when it was still kind of hot, so that the cloak kind of looked, it still looks like the cloak and you can't actually see where I was burning it, but it allowed the model to kind of lean back a bit more as if she was falling, trying to get away from the knife blade that's about to do plus 10 damage to the dice roll. So then everything else is done. I've got unit piggybacks, painted some of these up before. I've got another rattler, he's ready to go. I have the Trapperkin, which you seen last time. He's just been primed up again because I got the base done. Frightmare, Witchwood. It's kind of hard to convert something up like this, so what I'm going to do to make it different from the other one is I'm going to put like bush flock that I have all around these branches, and that way it'll look a bit more like a tree to start, but it'll be different to the other one that I've already done for the client, and this is the first version of this one I'll be doing. This one's only released. It's a Clockatrice, so it's pretty cool. So that's kind of just what's on the board at the minute, so I'm going to lift that out of the way and then I'll show you what else I'm working on. Okay, so this is what else I'm working on this week. I finished Garverus. I got him based up and airbrushed this morning. I'm working on Elias Garrett up here. I have Malice is the last model for the Cryx commission now that Scarverse is done, so I'll get him done up today. I airbrushed base coats on all my Blood Angels units, and I say all of them I mean a Librarian, a Lieutenant and a 5-man Reaver squad. I had to think what they're called there for a minute. So basically I just gave these guys the jump packs because they're the easy to build guys. They don't come with like the grab shoe kind of pack or the grapple guns. So my idea is I'll paint these guys up as Primaris Reavers, and I can use them as Primaris Reavers with grab shoe, or I could use them as Dead Company with jump packs, whichever I need depending on what way I'm playing. So I just started putting some silver, and I got a bit of yellow down on some of the helmets last night as well. So that's literally as much as I got done on them, which wasn't a whole pile. I just wasn't feeling the painting last night, so I didn't really get nothing done on this guy. This is kind of where I burnt out. I was after playing a game where I played a game of Warhammer 40,000 yesterday, Blood Angels versus Grey Knights and Admech. I was tired, I was painting, it was 12 o'clock, and I was just like, no, I'm not forcing this. If it's not happening, I'm just going to leave it. There's no point making myself feel worse. And then I have this guy ready to go as well. I gave him an axe instead of the standard sword that he comes with. Okay, so Malice has just been undercoated. Scarverus, absolutely horrendous model to try and stick together, and I was actually trying to pin his scythe head to the staff, and it, like, the whole model just shattered, and I had to rebuild them and repaint bits where the super glue chipped off stuff, and those bits that were painted were getting stuck to me and all. It was a nightmare, but he's fixed now and he's all done. The only thing I have to do is his arc. But what annoys me the most about this model is how absolutely massive he is on such a small base. I think he should have been on a bigger base. Like, he's such a mad overhang. So War Machine, if you like, some things have 2-inch reach, so you could get within 2 inches of them. Other things have an inch reach. But if he was to charge into something, it'd be very hard to actually get base to base. Even if you go at the back, like, his cloak is overhanging. But there'll be pictures of this guy up on the Instagram anyway. So he's done now, which is good, because that only leaves Malice. And these guys got based up with the rest of the Grymkin yesterday as well. This is part of the Grymkin commission, so I just painted up his kind of greyish cloak. It looks a bit starker than, okay, maybe it doesn't look as bad there. It's just got his cloak done this morning, a couple of base coats on him, and I threw down some base coats onto the cask imps. And the last thing is this gorehound here. So I've already done 2 of these with a client, and I wanted to do this one a little bit different. So what I done was I just had a bit of green stuff to get it, and once it's set now, I'm going to build up some more and get the hair and all blended in, just to make it have a longer neck so it stands out a bit from the other ones. But that is it for this week's update, guys. I forgot that I actually recorded a piece earlier on. It was during the week before I dropped off a load of models when I went up to that game thing on Sunday. But I done an intro with that one. I'm after doing another intro, so sorry about that. And stay tuned for next week's update. Cheers for watching.